Okay, so now we're going to look at the law of cosines. We're going to have a triangle. So I'm going to draw a triangle here. Well, I went a little past in this. I'll draw a triangle. And I'm going to call this alpha, beta, beta down here, and gamma up here. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a Cartesian coordinate system. Okay? And we'll call this angle, this angle right here is alpha. I didn't finish labeling my triangle, did I? Okay, so we have sides A, B, and C. Okay. Now we're going to draw a perpendicular. So we're going to we drop a perpendicular down there. Now you have a triangle, the bigger triangle, that's a right triangle. Now think about this distance right here, okay? And think about this point right here. That point is x comma y, right? It has some x value and some y value. The x value is this distance right there. That would be x. And the y value would be this distance right there where my dotted green line is. Okay. I have another little distance here, right here. This part here is x minus c. Okay. So now we've got, kind of three triangles going on, but we're really looking at just the big right triangle and that littler triangle that's in orange. Okay. Well, we know some things. We know that the sine of alpha is equal to opposite. So look at the right triangle. Okay, this triangle here, that triangle there, it's opposite y over the hypotenuse, which is b. Or b sine alpha is equal to y. Okay? Then we can also do something for the cosine of alpha. So the cosine of alpha is going to equal, again, we're looking at that large right triangle. We're going to say that's x over b. Or b cosine alpha is equal to x. Okay. Now we're going to look at the Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So we know that we're going to look at this little triangle right here. It's a right triangle. Okay. We know that in that right triangle, the hypotenuse is a, so a squared is equal to x minus c squared plus y squared. Okay. But we have values for x and y. We just did that. So we get a squared equals, our x was b cosine alpha minus c squared plus, and then we have for y, b sine alpha squared. Now we're going to do some algebra. So we're going to square out that binomial. It's going to give us b squared cosine squared alpha minus 2bc cosine alpha plus c squared. Plus, then we're going to have this one, which is going to be b squared sine squared alpha. Okay? All right, now we're going to rearrange this a little bit. So I have b squared cosine squared alpha plus b squared sine squared alpha minus 2bc cosine alpha plus c squared. Okay. Well, that should be okay. You can always, let's see. Sorry, I had that extra screen pop up. Okay, so if I look just at this part, I can factor out a b squared, and then I have cosine squared alpha plus sine squared alpha. And then I'm going to do a little rearranging. I'm going to put the plus c squared and then minus 2bc cosine alpha. So we're almost done because this is just 1, right? So you have a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine alpha. Now you might be saying, well, why in the heck did we do all that? What was the deal with the x and the y, and why did we have to do all that? Well, now this expression right here for a squared actually, that's in terms of the sides and the angle of the original orange triangle. Okay, and that's what we're looking for because they're going to give us a triangle and they're going to tell us some information. Okay, they usually will write the formula right like that. So this is a law of cosines formula. Why don't they take the square root of both sides? They just don't usually. They usually leave it a squared. Okay, there are two more formulas. You can say b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2 ac cosine alpha. And then c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine alpha. And those three are the law of cosines. So depending on which side you're trying to find, that'll determine which one you're going to use. Okay? It's the law of cosines, and I just made a mistake. So let me fix that. Those angles don't stay the same, so I don't know what I was thinking. It's going to be beta when you're trying to find B, and it's gamma when you're trying to find C. So it goes by that. All right? So they're not too bad to remember, although I did forget. But that's how those three formulas work. Okay? So it's the law of cosines. It's in your book. You can spend more time with it if you want to. They give you more formulas, but we'll talk about that in another problem.